Well, I could sing a
It should be
song
working
for
now.
you. Tell me it's working now. What happened?
It's going to be a 30-second lag.
What happened? What was going on? Did you not have the microphone set up right?
Yeah. Well, there was no sound earlier, and then with all the tech, and I had to shut it down, and it should be working now.
Oh, wow. You know, my favorite thing in the whole world is to repeat myself. That's okay. All right, guys. So thank you for telling me that there's no sound. It's a little embarrassing. I'm
glad that I was here.
I need to learn to sign, actually, so that in case the volume ever goes out. Yeah, you all need to learn to read sign language. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're going to talk about the Brexit Party. We're going to talk about Marine LePen, who has reached out an olive branch to Farage's Brexit Party, knowing that he's not going to be there very long. And she wants
Here's your chat here.
Yeah, I see them.
And here's your other chat here.
Okay, awesome.
Toggle back and forth.
Okay, guys. So we're talking about EU elections that are going to happen May 22nd, 23rd. Be there. 23rd, I think. Be there, be square. So you have Salvini, who is joining with LePen. Now, a lot of these right-leaning Eurosceptic groups in the EU have some differences of opinions on legislation and morality and things like that. But LePen says we have to put all differences aside, and she has put her faith in Salvini, which is a really good idea, to bring all these, I get goosebumps, all these Eurosceptic right-leaning parties together. Now, talking about a right-leaning party, in Spain, the Vox party is the Donald Trump party of Spain. Now, what I was saying when you couldn't hear me was when Donald Trump said, "Make America Great Again," I know what that meant. I knew it didn't mean make Spain awful or China even. It meant we need protectionist policies in our country because your countrymen come first, right? Your countrymen come first. First the people in your city, then the people in your state, then the people in your country, all right? And then the people in the world. And you want to look out for people in the world. But first off, you're in a country and you're a citizen of a country so that they look out for your best interest. They protect you. And they make sure that if somebody is making a good or selling a service outside of your country, that they have to come in through a different door, that you go first, right? So the Vox Party has let's make Spain great again. Now, it will be the first time it will be featured in the, I guess the first time it was featured in December in the actual government. Now, it's not going to win over the government. You're not going to have a right-leaning Spain yet. But it is gaining momentum. And so I wanted to point that out. And I thought it was hilarious because the Spanish election, the Vox Party wants to build an insurmountable wall and make Morocco pay for it. I think that's awesome. The Spanish conservative Vox Party has pledged to build an insurmountable wall to protect the country from illegal immigrants ahead of an expected breakthrough in the general election today. And I have some updates on that. April 28th. Vox has promised strict measures to stop the flow of migrants. It also argues that the army should be sent in to patrol the borders until the walls are erected and should be given the necessary orders to defend them. The party, which was founded in the late 2013, sent shockwaves through Spain after winning a surprise. I love surprises. 11% of the vote and 12 seats in a regional election in Andalusia in December. It is vowed to protect the EU's common border with Africa with an insurmountable wall, suggesting that the Moroccan government should pay for it, and I wholeheartedly agree. Spain has the European Union's only land borders. Did you guys know that? We talked about this a lot. With an African country around the enclaves of Melilla and how do you say that? Quetta, known in Spanish as Plazas de Soberanía, or places of sovereignty. The enclaves have been part of Spain since the 1400s. Police sources in Spain say that at least 50,000 sub-Saharan Africans are waiting in Morocco to enter into the country. Spain's Socialist Foreign Minister, Josep Borrell, stated that Europe needed new blood. And it doesn't look like this new blood is coming from our capacity to procreate. I love that. You guys, we talk about that all the time. No. I love it. Poland, Hungary, make Poland great again, make Hungary great again. have kids, have babies for your country. We love that. So let's go over here to see how the Spanish election. I had some up earlier. La 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 la. Let's see, Spanish election. Let's just see what the Vox Party has to say. I don't know if it's going to be in English or not. Let's see. No. As Spain goes to the polls, it looks like Vox, the country's far-right party, is on the verge of being the most right-wing party to win seats in the parliament since Franco's death. This woman is fighting the rise of the right. Remember, Mussolini was left socialist, so hello, so was Hitler. I was reading in an article, and not sure where it was, so I'm not going to bring it up right now, but I'll just let you know that they were running out of Vox ballots in certain areas of the country. Some of the women, I guess it's more of an upper class thing now, to who would be voting for Conservative Party, and now they're voting for the Vox Party. Santiago Abascal cast his ballot at a polling station in Madrid with his party Vox expected to fetch more than 10% of the votes, a result which would mark a return to the far right. No, it's not far right, guys. I just have to tell you. They're from what I understand, from what I've read about the Vox Party, they're not crazy. Okay? In Sunday's election in Spain, the focus will be on the emergence of Vox and the growing party fragmentation. Demographic changes. Fascist. See, and that's how they paint everybody who's left of center. Let's see. Let's just see what this Spanish election. Rise of the nationalists vowing to make Spain great again. I think that's a little bit better to say a nationalist than a fascist. When Santiago Abascal, the leader of Spain's Vox Party, was asked to explain its recent success, he said it was because it was in step with what millions of Spaniards think. Vox has been derided as far-right and populist, anti-immigration, anti-Islam, but the 42-year-old boss says instead it defends the constitutional order, constitutional reform in some areas, and the unity of Spain with centralization of the state and wants immigration to be brought under control. And that, my friends, will get you labeled, in 2019, a fascist. For a long time after its foundation in 2014, Vox struggled to make an impact. But ever since it filled a Madrid sports center with 9,000 supporters last month, the party has been taken much more seriously. Let's see. Percent of the votes won by Nationalist Party in most recent elections. Getting tough on Catalonia. Catalonians are actually, a lot of them are supporting the Vox movement, which I find incredibly interesting. Now, if I could, I think I'm going to try to get you to, I hope that's the right one. Let's see. I want to go to my other window here. No, you can't say error. That's the one I want. That's my video I want to play. I love my life. Let's see, guys. I want to try it again. See if I can get Spain Awakening video here. Of course, it's going to say error. Of course, you're going to say error. Why? Can't make it big. There we go. Spain Awakens. All right. So, I got it. Thanks, Justin. Justin sent me this. Scene 5. We're alive. I'm going to make it big, guys. If I can.
Dejémoslo muy claro. Los españoles estamos primero. Esta es nuestra casa. Y los servicios sociales, las ayudas y la seguridad debe pensarse primero en España. Y nadie nos va a ganar al pueblo español en solidaridad. Somos una de las naciones más combate lo más importante de la civilización occidental, de la que España, con el humanismo cristiano, con su historia y con su tradición, ha sido capaz de sostener y expandir por todo el mundo. Por tanto, nosotros, los españoles, hacemos un llamamiento, primero a nuestros gobernantes y luego al resto de Europa, que ha llegado la hora de poner pie en pared, comenzar por defender las fronteras de toda Europa, porque Ceuta es la frontera exterior de Europa. Necesitamos el apoyo del resto de los países europeos, y si las Merkel o los Macron no nos quieren ayudar, estamos convencidos que millones de europeos van a estar con nosotros, con los españoles, para ayudarnos a proteger lo que significa Europa de una auténtica invasión islamista.
Dude, he's like right up there with Salvini. Too bad there's way more socialists in Spain than there are right-leaning people. But man, that's a leader right there. And you can hear what he's saying, right? You can hear what he's saying. So let's see, guys. I want to see what you're saying. It's Michelle. There we go. We don't expect replacement migration anymore. We can see through the smokescreen, and now we aren't going to take it. I see Vox have the BBC and others branding them far right. They then have to admit Vox are pro-EU. Very interesting. No borders, no country. Make Spain great again. Thank you, Gonzalez. I am with you on that. Totally. So, all right, guys. So there's Spain. Spain is on the move. Now I want to talk to you guys. Have you guys heard of this girl? Greta Thunberg. She's 16 years old. She's a climate specialist with, 20 degrees in climatology, the weather, how earthquakes are created. She has all the answers for you. She is Jesus, the Messiah for climate with pigtails. She also is mentally disturbed and has gone on supposed 30-day hunger strikes, to which her mother wrote a book about her and her tantrums and her sister and how they hurt themselves and the toll that this has had on their family, writing all of these self-harmful things that this mentally disturbed child has done, and for the world to put her up on a pedestal as a hero. If you go through, oh my word, y'all, it's sad. If you go through Twitter, this child who is mentally, legitimately mentally disturbed, okay? She is mentally disturbed, and the world has put her up on a pedestal. David Icke, love David Icke, hilarious, calls this girl, though, the cabal's puppet, given mass exposure to sell their agenda, and she has no idea. This is what we call child abuse. That she met with the Pope. She says we're on the, we're all dying. There's no plan B. I mean, what they have done to this child and setting her up and brainwashing her and using her as a puppet is sad. Finally, you have the Swedish populist leader who no one has touched this girl. And I don't want I don't want everybody to send hate to her. She is not mentally sound. Her parents have put her up. The media has put her up. The world is using her, and they will drop her. And that's the truth. Swedish Popular Democrat leader Jimmy Åkesson has criticized the 16-year-old climate change activist Greta Thunberg, claiming she and her movement were the creation of a public relations agency. The populist leader made his comments earlier this week on Swedish television, remarking he respected the commitment of the 16-year-old activist, but said he did not think her movement would lead to meaningful change, saying she was just a child. Atkinson also criticized the protest that that made Thunberg a worldwide name, which involved Swedish students staging a school walkout, saying, "I think you can do more in school. She should go to school." She actually gets to go to a special school for mentally disturbed children. And what I read, other kids would kill to go to. Not kill, but you know what I mean. It's hard to get into this school. He also questioned the authenticity of the 16-year-old's movement, saying it was all a staged protest. I think this was the article I wanted to bring up. So here we have it. One is a brainwashed child in pigtails pushing a hard left anti-capitalist agenda, which will drive up energy prices, hamper industry with taxes and regulations, destroy jobs. And by the way, the Swedish krona is the lowest, I guess. I was Zero Hedge financial website had an article out saying the Swedish monetary system is the lowest in the EU. It's not doing good. Socialism is not doing good in Sweden right now. With this whole climate change thing, it's designed to tax. It's designed to take your money. So let's see the difference between Donald Trump and Greta. So one is the leader of the free world, a long-standing friend and admirer of Britain, an outspoken defender of Western civilization who has transformed the U.S. economy, made his people safer and freer, and brought a degree of stability to a dangerous, unpredictable world, both as a peacemaker in North Korea and a scourge of terrorism in Iraq and Syria. And then guess which one was invited to address Britain's parliament? And one wasn't. Greta was invited. And this is why your politicians should not be taken seriously. Greta Thunberg, the overrated kid, got to speak in Parliament this week and was fawned over by everyone from the Speaker of the House to the Environment Secretary for all the world, as though her half-digested Greenpeace propaganda had come inscribed on tablets of stone straight from Mount Sinai. President Trump, meanwhile, remains persona non grata. Unless John Bercow, the Speaker of the House, can be persuaded to change his mind, President Trump will not be accorded the courtesy of making an address to Parliament when he comes to the UK on his state visit in June, which he has been given. It just boggles my mind. Jeremy Corbyn says he's not going to attend the state visit. I guess, and the Meghan Merkel, I don't know, your new American princess over there in Britain. She's not going to show up. I mean, but they show up for Chinese dictators. And even Majid Nawaz had said that that's ridiculous. So you've got this chick, this young girl who's being used. It's awful. It's awful how she's being used. She looks cute and fresh-faced. Yes, she may deserve a degree of sympathy because she's on the autistic spectrum. But she knows next to nothing about climate science except what she's been fed by green propagandists. And she knows still less about climate policy. If she did, one thing she'd never be able to tout with any integrity is her utterly untrue line that governments are doing nothing to combat climate change. Oh, yes, they are. Far, far too much. Britain, for example, is legally committed by the Climate Change Act massively to decarbonizing its economy by 2050 at enormous expense and with very little obvious benefit. These are extraordinary times. Future historians, I'm sure, will marvel at the prevailing lunacy whereby Theresa May's conservative government prostrated itself before a child selling eco-fascist snake oil, but cringed at the thought of welcoming America's greatest exponent of conservative values since the golden era of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher. Yeah. So, these leaders line up to meet this wonder child who is mentally disturbed. And this is where we're going. This is where we're getting at. She's like some sort of spiritual leader who has worked to shut down London's public transport and many airports with protests that led to over 1,000 arrests. A government minister, top opposition politician, and other senior figures were apparently thrilled to be chastised for not working hard enough to combat climate change this week by a Swedish teenager. Of course, you had Diane Abbott, Jeremy Corbyn, all lined up to hear what she had to say. She is brainwashed. She is brainwashed, and I want you guys to know that she's definitely brainwashed. So let's see. I guess there's a 6-part series here. Manufacture of Greta Thunberg. What's infuriating about manipulations by non-profit industrial complex is that they harvest goodwill of people, especially young people. They target those who were not given skills and knowledge to truly think for themselves by institutions which are designed to serve the ruling class. Capitalism operates systematically and structurally like a cage to raise these domesticated animals. Those organizations and their projects which operate under false slogans of humanity in order to prop up the hierarchy of money and violence are fast becoming some of the most crucial elements of the invisible cage of corporatism, colonialism, and militarism. I love that. She is the current child prodigy and the face of the youth movement. If you notice that the left always picks some sort of weird face. We did this with the women's movement. And they're doing this now to this poor young girl. I mean, we do know that with the Al Gore's climate, whatever, it never happened, right? It never happened. Here's somebody on Twitter. Maybe it's because we're sick of hearing from cynical old men who presume to have their opinions treated like facts. Yes, Mr. Hitchens, I'd rather listen to a 16-year-old autistic girl with a thing for imperialism and no inclination to bloviate. No, she's messed up, you guys. She is messed up. In a recent interview with presenter Nick Robinson on BBC Channel's 4 Today program, the 16-year-old climate change activist said her disorder helps her to see things in black and white. It makes me different. And being different is a gift, she says. It would also makes me see things outside the box. I don't easily fall for lies. I can see through things. That is very sad. She added that if she had been like everyone else, she wouldn't have started a school strike last year. No, her parents pushed her for all of this stuff. She started to skip school on Fridays to protest about climate change outside of Sweden's parliament with a handwritten sign that read, "School strike for climate." The teenager did not return to school until the Swedish general election on September 9th. I don't think I would be interested in climate at all if I had been like everyone else. Many people say that it doesn't matter. You can cheat sometimes, but I can't do that. You can't and be a little sustainable. Either you're sustainable or you're not sustainable. The activist, who had been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize this year, also opened up about climate change, made her very depressed at age 11. It had a lot to do with climate change and ecological crisis. I thought everything was just so wrong and nothing was happening and there's no point to everything. Like I said, she went on hunger strikes, hurt herself, and her parents have a hard time controlling her. And it's child abuse. Okay. All right. Have you guys heard about her? I want to see any. I want to see if you guys have any. Terrible how the UK is snubbing the US. Vince Cable, Meghan Markle, Jeremy Corbyn, and Sadiq Khan have all refused to welcome President of the US. The UK isn't a strong and true ally of the US anymore. Let's see. When the left is about to lose power, they jump to climate change BS and do nothing when they are in power. Who has asked Walmart to compensate the disruption of I missed the last of that. Paid for by our favorite American, Soros. It's Hungarian. So I wanted to see what you guys were saying. All right. I love how Brexiteers get called isolationists and little Englanders, yet we aren't the ones wanting to block a visit from the U.S. president, our biggest ally, from Jim West. Well said. Well said. The Extinction Rebellion nuts are really just anti-capitalist, nothing to do with the environment. You're right, because you know what? They would change their own lifestyles, and they don't. If the world has climate change, shouldn't all of the world stop using fossil fuels worldwide immediately? Why do third world nations get a pass to still pollute? Funny how 0 coastlines in the world have been lost to global warming. You guys have a lot of good comments today. People who care about the environment are the ones concerned about putting it under government control. Who's Greta related to? Good question. I don't know. Interesting that the U.S. did not sign up for the climate change agreement and produce less pollution than those that did. Huh. Endora Darling says. You guys are just really talking up a storm here. Trudeau is trying to call the flooding in Canada the result of global warming, conveniently forgetting that floods have been recorded there for centuries. You guys are right on. You guys can run the show today. Your comments are awesome. All right. So, moving on from Greta, climate change. Hey, my own 2 cents. They don't care about the environment because I don't see AOC, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, who put forth the Green New Deal, living on a farm. Does Greta Thunberg's family live sustainably, never going to the grocery store? If those people did, I would take them very, very seriously if they lived off the grid. But you know who most of the people are that live off the grid? Libertarians and right-leaning people. Go figure. People like my beloved Thomas Massey, who is the only congressman who lives off the grid, produces his own electricity and stores it in a Tesla battery. He had put on his own solar panels. He's a sustainable farmer himself. He raises cattle. But nobody wants to listen to him. He's actually living it. He collects his own rainwater. He makes his own electricity with solar panels. These people don't. Al Gore, his electric bill is like $5,000 a month or something. He's not running off of solar panels because what they try to say is it's not about the little guy. We all need to do it collectively. We talk about this all the time, like with Bernie Sanders. Hey, I'm not brushing my teeth until everybody brushes their teeth. I'm not going to do it. I'm telling you, it's good. It's so good. We all need to brush our teeth, but I'm not brushing my teeth till everyone brushes their teeth. I'm just not going to do it. We try to live sustainably. We just went to Green's Farm yesterday. We had a lot of sicknesses, and Mom was in the hospital. Their dogs died. And over here, should turn the camera, is all my planting stuff. I have no seeds started. I'm embarrassed to say. I am, hopefully this week, going to start some of my squash seeds. But if you don't, and you know what, this is a really good plug, to go to your local greenhouse, and if you haven't started seeds, get yourself a pot, put some potting soil in it, and put some tomatoes in it. Start somewhere, and you'll feel really good about yourself. Because when you grow something, it feels really good. So I want and this is the problem with these Greta people. They say it's not enough to do a little. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. And you know what's hard? Living in London. Living in the UK with all the knife crimes going on. Oh my word. Have you guys heard about all the knife crimes going on in the UK? It's going up. Well, I guess we'll hit that in a minute because I'm on this one now. Predictions point to Tories losing 405 to 1,100 seats in local elections. There's a lot of local elections happening. And a pollster for Sky News has predicted that the Tory party could lose more than 400 seats in local elections, whilst a projection from polling data points to a loss of over 1,000 seats. Professor Michael Thrasher, associate member of the Nuffield College, University of Oxford, told news presenter Sophie Ridge there are a lot of seats at stake in local elections on May 2nd. Currently, of the three main political parties, the Conservatives hold the most seats and councils in England with 4,906 seats and 140 councils, while Labour only has 2,106 seats and 68 councils, with the Liberal Democrats having 646 seats. While predicting a loss of 405 seats for the Tories in poll data prepared for last week's Sunday Times, Professor Thrasher also said they could lose as many as 1,100 seats if polling proved accurate. And about 8,400 seats are available. There's a perfect storm headed to hit the Conservative Party. Now, the YouGov poll published Sunday has the Brexit Party retain the position, the highest position in the European elections on the 23rd, with 28% of the vote, followed by Labour at 22% and Tories at 13%. This is going to be really interesting. I am looking forward to May 23rd. I can pray. I'm not there in Europe. I'm not voting, but I can pray. And I'm praying that the deep hold that the EU has over the world will come to an end. Will come to an end. All right, guys. Tommy Robinson, vote for him. Some people were saying, what do I do? I read somebody say, I'm torn between voting for Tommy Robinson in my district and the Brexit Party. Listen, if you are in one of the districts where a UKIP member that you know and love is in, like Sargon of Akkad or Carl Benjamin or Tommy Robinson, vote for them. Vote for them. Vote for them. Oh, my word, to see Tommy Robinson in the EU Parliament. The hell would freeze over. It's epic. But he made a video dispelling the lies of the media smears. The media smears this guy. Like, listen, my qualms with Tommy are about presentation and strategy. But the media smear this guy to smithers stinkinines. He's not who they present him as being. He is... I mean, you got that Greta girl going around telling everybody we're going to die climate, right? Costing people billions of dollars, ruining people's lives. And he's going around, everybody Islam. Well, he is more right than she is. Scientifically, religiously, factually correct. But the media don't like him. Because he's actually talking about real things and making real changes. And the left doesn't want to actually make real changes. Unless it's taking more money from other people. Right? Lord. Come on, baby. I don't even know. Hang on, guys. Should probably bring it up so you guys can hear it. Because isn't this funny? Michelle's got this thing here. Ooh. I didn't even know how to turn it on. I think I turned it on. Mode. There. Give me a second, guys. While that comes up, because it is behind me. All right, I'll read some comments. Tommy isn't a proper Brexiteer. It's not his thing at all. Okay, Tommy's presentation is because he's a true local lad, a true British guy. Okay. He won't get anywhere otherwise. Let's see. Too much of a humble gentleman guy. People can only vote TR if they live up north, but UKIP or Brexit parties need to be voted for nationwide. Okay. All right. We're ready.
Tommy Robinson is trying to sow seeds of division. He also says that this is to go against his racist preaching and lies. So I want to speak to him. I want to ask him. Because so many people make these accusations against me. I just want to calmly, nicely have a conversation with him. We'll see what happens when he turns up.
Fella, what's up?
I'll just come speak to Mansour. Speak to Mansour?
Right, I can send them down here. It's just nobody's allowed on the grounds at the moment.
Oh, right, yeah, if you could ask.
By order of the church.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll just send one. Who is it you want?
Sir Mansour Ali.
Sir Mansour?
I can see him there, that gentleman there.
I'll go and ask him.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, my thing is that he's wrote a lot of stuff about me. He's organised a march against me. Maybe he should just talk to me. See where we differ on our opinions. How you doing? I saw...
Before you start recording,
how you doing, right?
Mansour, please.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Dave Warnock.
Nice to meet you. And so I've just thought better than...
I'm not here for confrontation.
No, I know that. I'm not here for confrontation, bro.
I'm just 100% honest.
I'm not-
I promise you, I'm not here for...
I'm not here for any confrontation.
Any naughtiness or anything, do you know what I
And
mean?
neither am I.
Good,
yeah?
okay.
I'm just trying to understand, because I just saw your peace march. Just so I could ask you, what is it that you'd have a problem with if I stood here and spoke to members of this community?
You are more than welcome, in my opinion. I mean, I'm from Whalley Range. I live in Whalley Range. I'm from Whalley Range. And
I've just looked you up.
Yeah.
Did some good work.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We just help in the community. Do you know what I mean? And if the community here is against you being here,
Which community is that? Who within the community?
well, I mean, you're in Wythenshawe. What are you here for, Tommy? I honestly do not know. This is the truth. I really don't know.
You are the first person.
I honestly don't know.
Okay, since I've been here 2 days. Yeah,
Okay.
I've met hundreds of locals.
Okay.
Not one person has said I'm not welcome here. So who is it that's saying I'm not welcome here?
I've not said anything of the
You
nature.
just said people said I'm not welcome here.
Yeah.
Who?
Just online, things that I've seen online, something.
Online by who? Because if you actually go online, actually under the comments section, which you surely have done, the comment section that says I'm not welcome here, if you read all the comments of the people from Withenshaw, which I've done, have you
Tell
read
me,
them?
I've come to see you. Tell me.
Yeah, cool. Oh, well, I saw that you've come. I saw that you've come to say that you've come. Your statement was that I'm not welcome here. But Tommy Robinson is trying to sow seeds of division using Withenshaw as a base. Please, how am I trying to sow seeds of division? Explain.
Well, what is it you're here for, Tommy?
No, you've said.
I'm asking you.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
I know, but just tell me what.
I will tell you. But I'd rather you tell me. You've made a statement today online.
I'm just a regular member of the community. You see the work that we do in our community.
You've said I'm trying to sow seeds of division. If I said something negative about you, which will happen, would you want me to? All I'm asking is, you've said.
I'd sit with you and have
that, which is why I'm here. That's why I'm here. For the 8th time, you said I am sowing seeds of division. Please explain how.
Tommy.
No, please, come on.
No, why are you here?
You make statements like this.
But
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because you've made a public statement on your social media which makes an accusation against me. I'm here to ask you to justify it for the camera. Please explain how I'm sowing seeds of division.
I'm just asking you, what are you here for, Tommy?
So, do we agree that I'm not sowing seeds of division?
I'm just asking you what you're here for, Tommy.
I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm asking you how I've sowed seeds of division, which you can't yet answer.
I just want a cup of tea and biscuits with you, Tommy.
Is this your statement? Are you? We can. But are you Mohammed Mansour Ali?
Can we have?
Yeah, we can.
We can. Have a cup of tea?
We can. Can we just get this one question? Because then I see that you're a man of integrity, which in the minute I'm struggling with.
All I want is a cup of tea and biscuits.
Mohammed.
All of this.
Mohammed. Oh, that's someone else that doesn't think I'm welcome. Mohammed. Please, bro.
Can we not?
Please.
Yeah, look, you call me brother.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, mate, I've got no problem with you.
Yeah.
Do you think I hate you? You have slandered me today, yeah, to a massive profile of people. All I'm asking is, one more time.
All I'm asking for is
what?
A cup
We will have
biscuit.
one. I've never seen anyone avoid a question so much. People like yourselves make accusations against me, and you've got nothing to say about it, or no evidence, or no backup. When I'm here to ask you questions, one more time, what have I said that sows seed in the community?
Cup of tea and biscuits.
Fine. You won't answer. What about yourself? It's all right. No, it's all right. All done. So for me, yeah, I face this all the time. I face people who make accusations against me. They say things about me. They say things about me, and then when I meet them and say, just explain that simple thing. How you doing? You all right?
Thank you for coming to Withenshaw.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Withenshaw.
Thank you, bro.
Seriously, I mean
thank
it.
you.
You are representing the working class who have been silenced for too long.
Thank you, bro. Are you coming out tonight?
I am coming out tonight,
Thanks.
yeah. And I just want to say thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
anyway.
man.
I'm a Manchester lad and been looking forward to meeting you anyway.
Thanks, bro.
People make their own decisions about you. I made mine and I'm right down the middle, but I'm with you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, anyway.
Thank you. No, thank you. As you've seen, the representatives, you know, the people who are so out of touch with their communities, the church leaders across the country, the Muslim leaders telling me I'm not welcome. I haven't seen anyone else say that. So, yeah. Because you invited me. When?
Prayer walk at the moment, so when we come back,
Okay,
if you want to have a cup of tea with him, that's fine.
Yeah. Is there anyone? Because I just want to dispel some myths. That's all I want to do.
A cup of tea with
So,
him, that'll
to
be
say to
fine,
people,
but it'll be just you, no cameras.
no, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, just me. How long? How long?
We'll do it
Yeah, we can do it,
half an
man.
hour, three-quarters of an hour.
Without that.
Yeah, no,
Just
without the
a
camera's fine.
Yeah.
It is. I've seen what Mansour said to me. Well, Mansour said on Facebook that I'm here to sow seeds within the community. So I come down and said, just explain that, Mansour. Explain what I've said that does that. And he couldn't, 5 times. Yeah. So I've said, because a lot of people read things, and I don't blame people for not liking me with what they read. But it's not. I always say to people, listen to what I say, not what people say I say. So if people are turning up with opinions of me, I just want to talk to them and find out actually what my views are. I don't hate all Muslims. I don't want all Muslims to leave the UK. That's what slanderous comments like people say. But when I actually speak to them, I just say, is this a march against me? It's just happened. That's what Mansour said when you read what he said on Facebook. He said there's a march against Tommy Robinson. So I guess you're on the march.
No, we got told it was just a prayer walk.
Oh, that's what you got told. That's not what Mansour says on his. Let me show you what he says on his Facebook. Thursday. come along tonight and you will see all the lies dispelled. Right? One more thing. You said this is a march against Tommy Robinson's racist.
We said we're going to have a chat.
Mansell, you can't make accusations like that about people and not back.
So I can understand why he wants to get an answer from him. And this is what happens when people smear you and they lie about you. When there's nothing there to back it up, like, hey, if Hillary Clinton were to come and ask me why I am slandering her, we can stay there all day. I could bring up everything, okay? So these people don't have any proof against Tommy Robinson. My only qualms is how he goes about it, not what he's doing or what he's saying. And that's just a matter of, do you like blue or do you like red? Okay. All right, let's see. What are you guys saying? All right. You guys are funny. They lied and told them it was a prayer march. Yeah, that's kind of... The word Islamophobia needs challenging properly. Can't be wrong to criticize religion. Or it's political, too. I mean, you can't be wrong to what a prayer walk. You just got done watching Tommy. All right, guys. So, I'm trying to read some of your comments. Getting everybody together there. So let me see. I want to talk about this later, but I know this is American news, but there was a shooting. If you guys didn't hear about this in California, San Diego, a Jewish community told Breitbart News on Saturday evening that the U.S. Border Patrol agent who chased the shooter away at Poway, California synagogue earlier was given a gun by an armed parishioner. The congregant had come to the synagogue to say the Yizor, the memorial prayer for the dead, as is customary on the last day of Passover, which coincided with the Jewish Sabbath. He had brought a gun in his tallis, his prayer shawl bag, as a precaution. When the shooting started, according to the source, the congregant handed the gun to an off-duty Border Patrol agent, telling him that he knew better what to do with the gun than the congregant himself. The synagogue, Chabad of Poway, has taken many security precautions in the past, given the risk of anti-Semitic violence, and a lot of people were there saying a prayer for the dead of those slain in the other synagogue shooting, the worst synagogue shooting in American history. And I have to tell you some sad news. One man, a Jewish man, was there to say a prayer for his mother who died in the previous synagogue shooting, and he was shot, getting between the rabbi and the shooter. And I just want to have a moment for these victims of hate crime, evil, violence, terror. Hard stuff, guys. Hard stuff. All right, I got a couple more things over here I wanted to show you. Here we go. Scene 5. I'm going to get it with Michelle a little bit easier when she can run my second system. Love having Michelle. All right. Okay. Now, I know we got to talk about this. Saudi stinking Arabia has executed 37 people, beheading them and putting them on display. One young man was beheaded because he sent a message on WhatsApp against the government. Now, Trump knows this, and people, I see conservatives and libertarians and leftists all the time. Why is Trump bowing down to this Saudi terror? It's human rights violations, terror, purporting terror. Tulsi Gabbard has it right on, and he would if he was candidate Trump. He would talk about this all day long, and he did. But I'll tell you guys this, and I've made peace with it now because I'm going to keep talking about it because I know what I would do if I were president. This economy would crash. And we'd have to start all over with a gold standard. We have a petrodollar. And I told you guys this before, and I'm going to tell you again. President Trump, I guarantee you, when he was inaugurated president, he was shown the numbers. Jimmy Carter signed us over to this petrodollar in 1979, and we've been slaves of Saudi Arabia to turn a blind eye. Every time they get up and say, Iran is the #1 exporter of terror in the world. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's Saudi Arabia. And the Saudi Arabians, their Wahhabism is much more dangerous than Iran. And the only reason the Wahhabists, well, they are going after America. They're the terrorists. Anyways, you need to see this. Scene 5. Thank you, Jesus. Here we go. Make this. Play for me, child. Come on. Let me see. Can we get it to play? Come on. I wonder what's taking so long. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Saudi Arabia beheads 37 people, mostly from the Shia minority, puts a body on display. Riyadh has drawn outrage from human rights advocates after it put to death 37 people and displayed a mutilated body of one of them on a pole. The execution was carried out after sham trials, Amnesty International said. The ultra-conservative kingdom on Tuesday beheaded 37 of its citizens in its biggest mass execution in 3 years, and first of that scale since Mohammed bin Salman became the heir apparent. He said he was going to make things a little bit more Western, make things a little bit more civilized. This ain't it. This ain't how you do it. This is not civilized, y'all. All right, since Salman became the heir apparent to the throne in 2017. Remember he had that Turkey guy in Turkey, reporter mutilated. Citing Saudi descent, Al-Amid, that at least 34 of those who were executed were members of the country's Shia minority. The Saudi Interior Ministry said that the men were subjected to capital punishment for their role in spreading extremist ideologies and establishing terrorist cells. Those executed, the ministry argued, were bent on fueling sectarian tension and plunging the country into chaos. Some were found guilty of killing law enforcement officers, staging attacks against security infrastructure, and assisting an enemy of the state. There's other ways to kill people. A beheaded body of one of the men, reported to be a Sunni militant, was pinned to a pole and put on public display. While the Saudi government insists that all the executions were perfectly in line with the law. Ba-boom, ching. Perfect. Amnesty International sounded the alarm over what it called a shocking execution spree.
Few things sow as much fear into the hearts of your own people as mass executions.
The men were executed for adopting terrorist and extremist thinking and for forming terrorist cells to corrupt and destabilize security.
Allegedly, among their crimes was disrespect towards authority. Some of them, can you believe, didn't like the king, protested against him. So serious were their crimes that one of those executed was also crucified. Yes, crucified in 2019. His body strung up for all to see, for all to fear.
Today's mass execution is a chilling demonstration of the Saudi Arabian authorities' callous disregard for human life. It is also yet another gruesome indication of how the death penalty is being used as a political tool to crush dissent from within the country's Shia minority.
In fact, almost half of those killed were executed after taking part in pro-democracy protests. See, the Arab Spring didn't skirt Saudi Arabia. The Shia minority rose up. They wanted change, better, fairer life. The king obviously thought they wanted too much. One of those executed, by the way, was 16 years old at the time of his arrest for attending a protest, apparently. He was still a kid. Now he's an example. In fact, the current king began his reign by staging a massive execution. 47 people beheaded, shot for crimes that included disobeying Saudi rulers. Biggest blood show since the 1980s. Crucifixions aren't uncommon. Peaked in 2012 when 5 people were strung up. Paralysis reportedly is also in a judge's arsenal. Seriously, they can sentence a person to be paralyzed as punishment. Roots back to a 4,000-year-old law that someone wrote on a stone pillar. Tooth for a tooth, and literally in this case, an eye for an eye. Saudis took that stone pillar very seriously. In 2005, a court in Saudi Arabia ordered a migrant's eye gouged out as punishment for getting into a fight. Amputation, also a favorite, especially for theft, chopping off people's arms and feet for stealing. And of course, stoning, reserved for crimes like being too friendly with the opposite sex. What can you say? You want a cherry on top? Saudi Arabia's on the UN Human Rights Council. What a world.
Saudi Arabia has defended its decision to execute the individuals. It says it will not hesitate to punish anyone threatening the security and the stability of the kingdom. Spokeswoman for the Gulf Institute for Democracy and Human Rights, Fatima Yazbek, believes Riyadh's justice system allows it to tackle anyone whose views differ from the official position.
It's not the first time which Saudi Arabia used the death penalty to punish prisoners of conscience who dared to speak out about the human rights violations in the country. We've noticed that there were, I think, around 5 of the executed people who were really charged by terrorism charges. We don't trust the Saudi Arabian judiciary system. We don't trust how did the Saudi authorities handled the matters, especially against the protesters who took out to the streets to demand rights and freedoms and who spoke out about what was happening in the country. As most of the Gulf kingdoms, Saudi Arabia uses its judiciary system to fabricate charges against the dissidents, especially against the activists who spoke out or who used the social media outlets or who participated in demonstrations. The thing is a taboo in the Gulf Kingdom, especially in Saudi Arabia. No one is allowed to speak about what's happening in the country.
Well, there you have it, folks. Doesn't get any weirder than that. Really, it doesn't get any worse than that. It can't get any worse than that. And what's... I can't stop the leftists from saying, Trump, what are you doing? I mean, they got to keep talking. They got to keep saying something because but here's the thing. I keep hearing that Russia is our number one, enemy in the world. They're not. RT put this out, dude. I know that Russia cracks down on some freedom of thought, but they're not chopping people's hands off, for what I understand yet. I think they probably were under communist Russia. They've kind of come into an age of enlightenment. They're not beheading people. Praise God. Mohammed has Hammond. Let's see. I have a right to condemn beheadings. You see, there are civilized ways for the death penalty, right? Beheadings and putting a head on spike is medieval. And we do know that the Saudi government had that journalist killed in Turkey. We do know that the young boy was using WhatsApp to, I'm going to show you. Arabia executions. Let's see. A young man set to attend Western Michigan University was beheaded in Saudi Arabia. Mujaba was among 37 people killed. This young man here. A young man who was set to attend Western Michigan University prior to his arrest in 2012 was among the 37 people beheaded in Saudi Arabia Tuesday in the largest mass execution. It was Ismail al-Swikak had been accepted as a student in 2012, but later the year he was arrested by Saudi officials at King Fahd International Airport, where he's on the way to the U.S. to begin his studies for college. He was just 17 years old at the time he was arrested. He had reportedly attended a pro-democracy rally during the Arab Spring, which led to his arrest. He was severely beaten all over his body, including the soles of his feet. And they executed him. 17 years old, he was arrested at 17. On his way to the U.S. I don't believe a word that Saudi Arabian government says. A mass execution beheading people. That's not how it's done. You don't execute thieves. You don't. We don't kill people. Whew. Pretty tough. All right, guys. Refugees start fires in Greece. This is not how you want to start your day and showing your gratitude towards Europe here. They're filmed the whole way. Starting these fires here. They're good fire starters, I gotta tell you. Look at them. Look at him starting another one. Look at him starting another one. Refugees. Starting another fire. Guess what? It's not for agriculture purposes to get the grass growing better. I can tell you that. I'm just playing this random video. I watched it a couple times trying to understand what happened here. It's in some Arabic country. I don't know where. That child is a child, not a doll. And these obvious extremist Islamists, women. Her hijab's off. Her hijab's off. There goes her hair, pulling the hair. Oh my word, I don't know. I don't know if this is some sort of hormonal balance. You know, some days I have a bad day. Throwing that poor baby around. Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch. There's another one with another baby. I don't know why they're all fighting. But they seem to all be angry at each other. Just another day in an Islamist country. This woman here, I wanted to share this because of some good news. So, Sonita Alizda refused to be a child bride. Then she became an activist rapper instead. With a mic in her hand, this Afghan girl used hip-hop to escape a forced marriage.
Share my story. I was working in a gym. I was cleaning. Then I heard Eminem's song.
If you had one shot.
He was rapping in English. Of course, I didn't know what he was talking about, but he gave me the idea of using rap as a tool to express myself, as a tool to share my story with the world.
She's an Afghan refugee who escaped forced marriage.
I knew what I want to be in the future, and I didn't want to get married.
12 million girls under the age of 18 are married off each year. Child brides are at the risk of abuse, exploitation, violence, malnutrition.
When I was 10 years old, my family decided to do an errand for me. I didn't know anything at that time because I was so young. I thought it was a game. I thought it was a party. And I was actually happy because they gave me new clothing and they paid so much attention to me.
Instead, she decided to flee. Her 2015 song "Daughters for Sale" draws from personal experience.
So I wrote that song because I saw my friends going through this situation. They were always with bruises on their faces because of fighting against child marriage. And I wanted to share their story. And I wrote this song just to let the world know what's going on and let them know that child marriage is a cruel tradition.
Amen. So I wanted to share with you guys some good news. So this is from a jit about Trump's visit. It's as if a British politician you boycott, President Trump, about whom I have profound reservations, yet attended functions for the Chinese president who interns up to 1 million Uyghur Muslims for re-education. You'll forgive me for assuming you're a self-obsessed Western narcissist talking about Jeremy Corbyn. We should hold America to a higher standard is not justification for a boycott. By this reasoning, we should boycott the entire Labor Party for invading Iraq, eventually leading to the humanitarian disaster that is ISIS, and for becoming an institutionally anti-Semitic party. And you will see that my tweet under him, how about Trump forgo the state visit to chastise the British Parliament for ignoring democracy and not delivering Brexit. The whole world is fed up with the whole Brexit nonsense. The people who voted to leave, but Parliament doesn't care about democracy. Corbyn has no room to speak. You'll see I only have 2 likes. That is a really good comment. I am shadow banned on Twitter. Sometimes when I get through, I get tons of likes, tons of comments, tons of retweets. I don't know how to break the algorithm. I did the other day. If you guys know how to break the algorithm, let me know. But what this means is that if you go to try to look for it, you're probably not going to find it there unless you follow me. Okay, just FYI. Just a little frustration on my part. So I want to show you one more thing. Let's see. This is an NPR journalist. Can you believe this? NPR journalist goes to Syrian camp where the ISIS brides and children are. They urge her to recite the Shootout. If you became Muslim and cover like us, you would not be killed. Of course, there were beheadings. It's based on the Quran and the rules of God, they said. These women here. Women carrying their children here at the 72,000 person camp. She says the women huddle for shelter from the rain under a corrugated iron roof, their long black cloaks dragging in the mud as they wait in line for food and pray for the return of the ISIS caliphate. The squalid Al-Hol camp in the Kurdish majority region of Syria known as Rojava is filled with more than 72,000 people, most of them women and children who came out of the last piece of ISIS-held territory in Baghouz. They include thousands of Iraqis and Syrians who believe they will usher in a new caliphate. and they pose a risk to the Iraqi government seeking to repatriate the Iraqis and to Syrian Kurdish authorities having nowhere to send the Syrians. This is injustice. We pray for the caliphate to return, says one of the women, who says this is the third day they have been turned away from promised cartons of food. If it weren't for the airstrikes on our tents and camps killing our children, then we would have not left the caliphate. One group of women and girls shout, "Convert, convert!" and it urged me to recite the Shahada, the Muslim profession of faith. There is no God but God and Muhammad, his messenger, Allah. If you become a Muslim and cover like us and become a member of our religion, you would not be killed in the ISIS caliphate, one woman tells us. And these ISIS women want to go back to where they came from. Now, do you guys know, we talked about Sri Lanka, the horrible Easter killing. One of the biggest coordinated terrorist attacks in history. Those men were not poor. They were not poorly educated. They were educated in Australia and in Britain. And you need to know in Britain that the people that they were radicalized by are still there in Britain.
All of the women are covered head to toe in black cloaks that trail in the mud. A few have covered even their eyes in a black gauzy veil. They wear long black gloves. Theirs is a vengeful God. One tells me God will punish them for waiting in line for food
instead of
praying. Another tells me God decrees that even having a finger showing is as immoral as having sex outside of marriage. They tell me I need to cover like them, that I'm an infidel. Convert, they tell me.
If she became Muslim and covered like us and became a member of our religion, she would not be killed. No.
We ask about the Yazidis, the religious minority in Iraq who were the victims of ISIS genocide. Thousands of them killed and taken into sexual slavery. Devil worshippers, they shout. A mischaracterization of their ancient religion that has led to dozens of massacres over the centuries. My colleague, Senghor Khalil, says to them, "You're Iraqi and I'm Iraqi. Did the Yazidis deserve what happened to them?" One of the women answers,
"If they don't convert to Islam and they don't become Muslim like us and worship God, then they deserve it.
We came here because of the hunger, so the children wouldn't die, so you wouldn't kill us."
In fact, it's a girl from the Iraqi city of Tikrit, one of the ones who was telling me to cover, who sounds the most fervent. She's probably 10 or 11.
The ones who are not covered now, I ask God, in the next life, to light the fires of hell with their hair.
Another girl tells us on Judgment Day, God will pour molten metal in the ears of those who listen to music. The girls say they went to school under ISIS, but they won't go to school again until the caliphate returns. They all believe it's just a matter of time.
All right. You don't know how to break that from Twitter. Thank you. I appreciate you trying. Let's see. Yeah, somebody had said that the elites want the immigrants to fight with the people who are native in that country, and you're absolutely right. Alex says, thanks to the Sri Lankan bombings, I get paranoid whenever I'm in a crowd of people and see a man wearing a large backpack. Speaking of the Sri Lankan bombings, I almost put this in the title, but I want to see. I had all these articles up, and then I have to refind them. I think this is what I want. Here we go. Let's see if I can open up this one. At least 15 dead, killed in a raid on the suspected terrorist hideout. Let's see. That's not what I want, but that's the topic that I want to cover. The Sri Lankan government went after. As Britt Bassa pointed out to me, that Sri Lanka is actually a predominantly Buddhist country with a very small Christian and small Muslim population. But those who fought for ISIS came and they returned. They do have Muslims. Let's see. I want to see. The 15 were killed and one woman blew herself up. Let's see. Let's see. I hate to go to CNN. Some children were killed in the hunt for terror attacks.
They're going house to house, and this is dangerous work, not just for soldiers. This child was caught in the crossfire when police raided a suspected bomb factory in eastern Sri Lanka. 15 people died in the fierce gunfight that followed. 3 of those were suspected suicide bombers, but among the dead were 6 children. This one escaped alive.
This won't stop, so we won't stop either. We are the army. We are the people who protect the country. We will completely remove these groups.
Right now, for the authorities, security seems more important than accountability. Yesterday, this Muslim family's home was raided.
Around 15 persons or more than 15% came with the vehicle. They fully covered themselves. Only eyes visible. They all of a sudden they jump out everywhere, and in the top, in the fence, and all surrounded us. And 4 or 5 people entered possibly. One of the person got my elder son. If he is connected to this incident, he also should be punished. Doesn't matter. But only my feeling is, who has taken that, we don't know. Whether these security forces or somebody else, we don't know.
It's a worrying echo of the bad old days and ways of the Civil War, when people simply disappeared. One of the country's senior Muslim politicians sees the danger of such fractures.
We can't blame anyone. We have to unite. President, Prime Minister, ministers, the government, opposition, all religious leaders and people of Sri Lanka, we unite.
This CCTV footage shows the moment when one of the suicide bombers entered the restaurant of the Kingsbury Hotel in Colombo. A quiet breakfast turned to terror, and only one of multiple attacks. Around the same time, not far away, a bomb exploded here in St. Anthony's Shrine. Last night, we went inside. There were pools of blood on the floor. Today, those floors were sprayed with water as the clean-up operation began.
The clean-up workers have been drafted in from the Navy. There are a lot of them. They're going back in now after a break. It's clearly very hard work.
Nearly a week since the attacks, it should be a symbol of recovery and rebuilding. But right now, Sri Lanka simply does not have that freedom. Tom Cheshire.
So, I don't want people's civil rights to be trampled on. I don't have the answers for how do you deal with Islamic terror. They went into home to home, and they found that many of them, they found many men with bombs, ISIS flags. I hate to go to CNN. 15 were killed. I guess 16 were killed. 10 civilians and 6 suspected. Ad blocker. In possible relationship to the suspected terrorists. That one's not going to tell me how many Muslims versus Christians versus Buddhists, but I think it's like 10% Muslim, 10% Christian about, and The rest they're Buddhists in that country. But these men were training. They trained in Britain, and that is really pretty scary. There was a shootout that occurred nearly a week after 9 explosions hit multiple churches, hotels, and other locations in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday, killing 253 people. There were 3 explosions during Friday's gun battle with suspects at a residence in Kalmuni. Authorities said they captured a large cache of explosives and more than 100,000 ball bearings. The network CNN reported authorities also confiscated ISIS uniforms and flags from the house, which police believed was a bomb-making factory. The local Islamic extremist group National Tawheed Jamaat has been blamed for the attacks but has not claimed responsibility. The Islamic State group has claimed it was behind the attacks, but authorities have not confirmed. One of the suspects was identified as Mohammed Niaz, a prominent member of the National Tawheed Jamaat. Let me see if I can get I want you to know their British ties. Studied in Britain and Australia. They were wealthy, from a wealthy family. Let's see if I can get the BBC News one to come up. Sri Lanka attacked bombers studied in UK and Australia. One of the attackers behind the Eastern Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka once studied in the UK, officials said, as further details on the bombings emerged. He visited Southeast England in 2006-2007 to study, but did not complete a full university degree. The attacker later did a course in Australia, Sri Lankan's Deputy Defense Minister said. The death toll has risen to 359, with more than 500 people wounded. And there is another article that I want to bring up because, let's see, except ISIS is planning a new wave of UK. I'll bring this up for you guys. ISIS plans new wave of UK and Europe terror attacks using crocodile cells, MI fears, after it emerged Sri Lankan bomb plot ringleader may have been radicalized by Jihadi John. And forget that, I'm sorry about the ads, whatever. MI5 is investigating ISIS plans to carry out a new wave of attacks across the UK and Europe using crocodile cells made up of sleeper operatives. It comes amid revelations that a ringleader of Sri Lanka's Easter massacre was mentored by a group of notorious British ISIS fighters, including the killer known as Jihadi John, when traveling to Syria to prepare for the attacks. Abdul Mohammed, 36, who is considered by Western intelligence agencies to be one of the plot's ringleaders, blew himself up at the Tropical Inn in Colombo on Easter Sunday. Here's the terror suicide bomber here. Another video, CCTV video. And now experts fear the West could see more deadly spectaculars as ISIS, which claimed responsibility for the Sri Lankan attack, switches tactics. The terror group is said to be relying on regional cells to do its work following its military defeat in its Syria and Iraq strongholds earlier this year. Police chiefs have urged churches and mosques in Britain to undertake counterterrorism training. Now remember, with the synagogue, somebody brought in a gun to protect himself and gave it to the off-duty police officer to protect the synagogue. Maybe that's what you need to do. I find that happens a lot with churches. Somebody, a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun every time. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, a lot. It comes as security services scramble to find out any associates or signs of extremist activity during Mohammed's time in Britain, which could have encouraged him onto a journey of terrorism. Following his studies in the UK and Australia, where it is thought he formed links in the UK and Australia with local extremists, then he went to Syria to join the ISIS. So there are cells in the UK and in Australia that are radicalizing people, and they live amongst you. Once in Syria, privately educated Mohammed is thought to have become a member of a Western satellite. One of these guys' sisters had 2 kids, and she blew herself up. A daughter of a wealthy spice merchant. Everybody keeps saying, it's poor guys who don't have anything to get or do. No, that's not true. Once in Syria, privately educated Mohammed is thought to have become a member of a Western cell within ISIS called the Legion. A Western ISIS cell, which included among its members Mohammed Mwazi, also known as Jihadi John. We've seen intelligence which connects him, Mohammed, to a number of British terrorists who are in Syria, as well as to Jihadi John and this other guy, Junaid Hussain, around the time that ISIS set up its caliphate. Oh, man. So, it's likely Mohammed only remained in the war zone for a few months, and nobody knows when he went back to Syria. This is the Syrian, this is the boy pictured as a schoolboy. There are a lot of videos out, a lot of stories out of the families who have been decimated by the Sri Lankan attack. One man lost his husband, one man lost his wife and his daughter in the same attack. One woman lost her children and her husband in an attack. It's heart-wrenching. I'm going to see if I can, because I want you guys to pray for Sri Lanka and for Christians all around the world. I want to see if we can get some of the victims' videos. Victims of the Sri Lankan attack, who they were. Dan Adria here, 36, regularly posted photos of her smiling family on social media. She was a manager at a clothing manufacturer and regularly posted pictures of her smiling family on social media. She and her husband had been married for 9 years and were at St. Sebastian's Church in Negombo with their 3 children. Fabila Fernando, 6, was an elementary school student. The story of Ramesh, a hero of the Sri Lankan attacks. Ramesh was at church in Badakolia when a stranger with a backpack tried to enter, saying he wanted to film the Easter service. Ramesh said he couldn't enter with a large bag and forced him outside. I know that there are some videos here. Let's see if we can. Here's a video of them being laid to rest.
එනකම් අපි ඊයේ පෙරේදා මීටින්ගෙම ගමේ කට්ටිය ඔක්කොම කොඩි දාලා ගමේ කට්ටිය කැම බීම ලැහැත්ති කරලා ඒව දීලා ඔක්කොම ගමේම ඔක්කොම කොඩි අනම්මන දැම්මා. ඒ එනකම්ම මම මගේ පල්ලිය සුද්ධ කරලා වතුර අනම්මන අපිට සප්ලයි කරුවා. අපි ඒව කරුවා. අද අපිට ඒක ඇවිල්ලා කම්පැනි එකෙන් දැන් දුන්නා. දීරිවල අපිට තව වතුර ඕන නම් තව දෙන්න කියලා තමයි කිව්වේ. ඕන තරම් වතුර දෙන්නම් කියලා. ඒ කට්ටිය අර අපි තිබහට එන කට්ටියට සහාය තමයි දෙන්නේ. එකට එකතු වෙලා කට්ටිය යාළුවෝ ටික තමයි කොහොම මේ දේවල් කරගෙන යන්නේ. මේ දවස් දෙක තුනේම නිදි නෑ. අදටත් ඔය කට්ටිය ඒ දේ තමයි සබදානේ වගේ කරන්නේ.
අපේ ගමේ බ්ලැක් ලයන්ස් ක්‍රීඩා සමිතියේ සියලුම තරුණ තරුණියන් ඒකරාශී වෙලා මේ අද පල්ලිය බලලා විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ විපතට පත්වෙච්ච සියලු දෙනාටම උදව් කිරීම සඳහා වියලි ආහාර සකස් කරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා ඒ අයගේ ගෙවල් වලට ඒවා ලබා දීලා විශේෂයෙන්ම ඒ විපතට පත්වෙච්ච පවුල්වල උදවියට අපේ ශෝකය සංවේගය ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න අපි ලාංකිකයින් හැටියට කිසිදු ආගම් භේදයකින් තොරව අපි ගොඩක් සංවේගයට
I hope you guys can read that. They were handing out water. A lot of the community had come together, and even what appeared to be Buddhists had come. This woman, or let's see, somebody says, I've lost my whole family, my 2 children, they've still not been found. That's a quote there. I know that a lot of the videos were going around Facebook. And this is the face of terror, ripping apart families, mothers, fathers, children.
Valuable asset. That is valuable asset I lost. Went to church to prayer.
I went to church to pray.
Negombo is often referred to by locals as Sri Lanka's Rome. It is the country's Catholic heartland. Now, so many people were killed in the suicide attack at this church on Easter Sunday that there is not enough room in the main cemetery to bury all the dead.
We do not know what is going on, but we know one thing: they killed us. So even though they killed us, we need to tell them, those who did this, we forgive you, because our Lord says to do so.
Maybe I don't want to play. I'll just be a blubbering mess when we see. Oh, this is the one. Oh my gosh. This man lost his wife and his daughter in the same attack.
Huge noise. When I jumped into the chair and I saw that my daughter, oh my, it's on the floor. I don't know what to do. And I was just saw my daughter on the floor. And I tried to lift it up. It's already exactly the same. Next, my wife is there. That's the end of the story. My daughter, fine.
அதாவது அந்த அவரோட உடுப்பு, அதாவது அன்னைக்கு அணிஞ்சிருந்த உடுப்பு மூலம் தான் அவரோட அடையாளத்தை கண்டுபிடிச்சாங்க. அதுதான் தெரிஞ்சு.
Yeah, it was, those people are my village. I every day see my friends, my teachers, my elders, everyone, half of them like dead.
I think we felt this more than the tsunami disaster, because it's more personal. It feels like it's more targeted, and then it's like, yeah, we're just concerned, like, why did it happen to our people?
At the moment, it's a terrible situation. We need a lot of reconciliation. On one hand, we have people who are really suffering with this terrible grief. On the other hand, we have people who are living with fear.
Fear and grief, guys. Let's see. Before we sign off, oh, you lost your true love in 1970. It hurts every day. God can bring healing to that. There's a video that somebody shared on Facebook about the stages of grief, and how grief comes as like big waves, and a bunch of waves, and you just kind of drown, and you got to let the tears come. And remember that person that you lost wants you to live every day. And so I want you to live for them. They want you to put one foot in front of the other, and they want you to live every single day. I know it's hard when we lose people that we love. Allow God to come in and fill that hole, and remember that hopefully you'll see them on the other side. Let's see here. Wanted to say, talking about using the girl from Sweden. You guys are awesome. Thanks for telling me there was no sound, by the way. All right, so I'm going to sign off here in a minute, but I wanted to leave on something happy and good. And I should probably let you see this. Big, as it were. So let me bring this up first. This man built a cathedral by hand, and he's been working on it for decades. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I want you guys to see it. But I want you to see it big. I want you to see it up close, not just behind me. Okay. So here we have it. So let me change scenes here. Oh, I was there. Was I there? Oh. I was at, where am I at right now? Okay, now I'm at scene 5. Okay. Here we go.
Cuando empecé a construir esta catedral, todos los corrillos, era eso, que yo estaba loco. Y no se creían que yo iba a ser tan constante. Y bueno, les estoy dando como un revés a la gente. Y eso me agrada porque para que vean que cuando un hombre confía en Cristo, he nacido en el año 1925 y llevo construyendo esta catedral 53 años. Yo cuando empecé a empezar la catedral era joven, ahora ya mayor, porque a las 9 ya es mucho. No he estudiado la arquitectura, soy un labrador. Tenemos ahí salones parroquiales, los claustros, tengo un baptisterio, que es la entrada, en esa cúpula. Y la crista, claro, con una escalinata que no la hay en Madrid, esa. No quiero materia. Dinero, nada. Y entonces lo he desechado, incluso en mi casa. Es imposible que yo termine la catedral en vida, porque queda muchísimo que hacer. Pues la esperanza que tengo yo de esta catedral, cuando yo me muera, pues se lo dejo en las manos divinas. Yo no sé dónde llegará, ¿eh? El ángel se carga de ello, ¿eh? A mí me gustaría que me enterraran en esta catedral, que son muy importantes, para mí.
All right, guys. So I wanted to show you that. I thought it was awesome. Okay, so here I am. Blubbering mess after what we just watched with the Syrian bombings and everything like that. I am going to sign off. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank my moderators who have been moderating diligently. Britt Boz is here. Kelly has been here. I'm sure Maia's here. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. I just want to thank you guys all. Redneck Survivalist is here. I just want to thank you guys for being here. Even though I was a little late trying to get things together, and just me. So I hope you enjoyed the show. You know, I'm bumbling around with 2 computers and trying to bring up my articles and just chattering away. I'm just so happy that you're here. You guys make my day, and I would like to have done that all day long. Yeah, me too. Definitely me too. It's that dude who builds a cathedral by himself. I personally know and love many Polish Christians. Yes, there are lots of Polish Christians. We have a lot of friends. It's hard seeing those people in Sri Lanka having that happen. I do want you to plant a tree. Plant lots of trees. ISIS was trying to revive the old caliphate that was the Ottoman Empire. Leah, we can't see. Which one? Tell me you saw. Which one didn't you see? Hopefully you saw the guy. All right. Thank you. Thank you. You guys saw the cathedral guy, right? Let's see. That was the last. Put it on the big screen. Hopefully you saw it. Hopefully you saw everything. I'm trying to read the comments. I've been trying. I like to do. I actually do, but like Michelle's over here. Normally I can't see it. So I like when Michelle reads the comments. So, all right. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3. Leave your comments about everything in the description or in the comment section at the end of this video. Michelle will premiere this again on our Resistance channel. If you are not subscribed there, go there in case this one gets shut down. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. If you want to send your letters, we want to read them on air. It's just so fun to see, to touch and make real contact with you guys, because I know you're real people out there. You're not Russian bots. Go figure, right? So hopefully Michelle will be back in our next video, and we can. Thanks, Alex. Great show. All right, guys. So I'm going to sign off. I miss you. I love that you're here. I love that I get to share this information. I love that we get to connect on issues, and we do love to hear your thoughts. So leave them in the comments so other people can see them afterwards. And I think I'm going to sign off here. Thank Michelle that you like Poland. I like Poland. I love Poland. All right. Thanks, guys. Not a bot, says Pamela. Not a bot. Hashtag not a bot. All right. So I am going to sign off. You guys are awesome. Oh, shoot. Wait, ending. Facebook didn't get the ending. Whoops.